It used to be straightforward. You studied hard, graduated, and got a job. Or you built a business and hired local talent to help you grow. Or you transferred a lifetime of wisdom and your students thrived. But things have accelerated. Now paradigms shift like the wind. Technology evolves in a blink of an eye, and last semester's skills are obsolete. It's a thrilling time to be alive, but global competition has never been stronger, and the future of American business rests on one thing: our ability to compete on talent. Right now, students hungrily preparing for the workforce will miss out on jobs they don't know exist. Entrepreneurs who've risked everything to grow their businesses struggle to find the talent they know is out there. And educators who've dedicated their lives to preparing students for success aren't getting the information they need to keep up with the pace of change. If we're to stay globally competitive, we need to adapt. This requires partnership between business leaders within and across industries. It requires employers to build relationships with educators like never before. It requires a commitment to a new culture where learning and training is ongoing. The good news is, we're on it. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation is leading a paradigm shift of its own. Across the country, our talent pipeline management movement is growing employer leadership and creating new career pathways. The Job Data Exchange will give companies the tools they need to better signal in-demand jobs and skills. And our T3 Innovation Network is empowering Americans with data and technology so they can better access opportunity. Now, teachers can send their students into the world prepared to compete. And we're not doing it alone. We're working in partnership with educators and community leaders so they know what jobs, skills, and credentials will help the next generation of learners and leaders succeed. Because ultimately, one thing has not changed: the American dream to chase our goals and build a stronger tomorrow. That's just who we are. Join us.
Got a walk-up song today. That's kind of exciting. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, good. All right, well, welcome. Welcome and good afternoon to everyone. We are delighted to have you join us for the Chamber's September Luncheon. We have an exciting program lined up for you today. I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Meta for being today's presenting sponsor. Great sponsors like Meta help us do more for our community. Meta supports local schools and workforce development because when business invests in education, they're investing in futures of talent, or they're investing in their future talent, stronger communities, and long-term economic growth. It's a win-win for everyone. Now, please join me in welcoming Chris from Meta to the stage to share a few words with us.
I like the walk-up song too. Thank you. So thank you. My name is Chris Mickey. I'm the Community Development Manager here in Cheyenne for Meta. And I'm working with some of our amazing team here in the Cheyenne community, which is the home of our new state-of-the-art data center south of town. At Meta, our mission is to build the future of human connection and the technology that makes it possible. Every single day, 3.4 billion people, that's with the B, use our technologies like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Threads, MetaQuest, our Meta Ray-Bans, and Meta Oakley glasses, to share ideas, support small businesses, stay connected to their favorite nonprofits, participate in civic engagement, and make a difference in their communities locally. None of this would be possible without Meta's data centers, like the one currently under construction south of Cheyenne. Our data centers are the physical infrastructure that power our platforms, but Meta data centers also drive positive impact in the communities where they exist. Our Cheyenne data center represents an $800 million investment in the state of Wyoming. Once fully operational, it'll support over 100 jobs and 1,000 construction jobs at peak construction, all while working with local small businesses and contractors through the process. And annually, we support programs and projects right here in Laramie County that put the power of technology to use for community benefit, give people the power to build strong and sustainable communities, and improve local STEAM education. Meta is proud to call Cheyenne home, and we look forward to playing a positive role here in the community's long-term economic vitality. And we thank you to the Cheyenne Chamber, and we look forward to working with you for many years to come.
Thank you so very much, Chris. We are very appreciative of Meta's support. We would also like to extend a special thank you to our other sponsors of today's luncheon. Our gold sponsor is Little America Hotel and Resort. Silver, Laramie County Community College. Bronze, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Wyoming. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. What we do would not be possible without you. Now, please welcome Vicki Pyle with doTERRA and the Red Carpet Committee to come forward to introduce our new partners.
Is anyone wondering about the red outfits in the crowd? Like me. We are the welcoming crew. We make connections, host events, and spread good vibes. We call ourselves the Red Carpet Committee. Interested in joining our crew? Talk to the chamber staff or anyone in red about joining this networking fun. My name is Vicki Pyle. Today, I am your chamber ambassador, introducing your new chamber partners. Our first chamber partner, I'd like to welcome Crystal and Cliff Johnson of Cruise Travel. Cruise Planners is an independently owned and operated franchise dedicated to curating exceptional travel experiences. With a relentless commitment to delivering friendly and efficient service, they strive to ensure that each journey you embark on transcends the ordinary. Their team of travel advisors leverages firsthand knowledge and insider connections to craft itineraries that resonate with your desires. They bring your dream vacations to life, be it a family bonding adventure, an incentive trip to motivate and reward, a seamless group getaway, a romantic sojourn, or a wedding in paradise. Welcome, Cruise Travel. Please welcome Marshawn McCormick and Morgan Hageman from Nay and Jays. Marshawn was born in Chicago, Illinois, and moved here when he was just a teenager. He has always loved food, especially from where he grew up. Having the opportunity to bring his culture food to Wyoming has been a dream come true for him. Now, Nay and Jays is very well known and well established, and they couldn't be any more grateful for the continued support in this wonderful city. Welcome, Nay and Jays. Next, I'd like to welcome John Cooper with Total Secure Technologies. For over 25 years, Total Secure Technology has been providing comprehensive managed IT services and managed security services. As a trusted partner for small and mid-sized businesses, they act as a fully outsourced IT department, delivering both cybersecurity and day-to-day IT support. Their team ensures that all network components are securely configured and continuously updated to defend against real-time threats. Known for their friendly customer service, they take pride in clear communication and fast response times. Welcome, Total Secure Technologies. I have Roger Lockery and Jackie Dial with Steam Power Incorporated. Steam Power is a floor cleaning company whose slogan is, "If you can walk on it, we can clean it." They also do furniture, dryer vents, heat vents, power washing, and can help with water damages. Roger is a Navy veteran and has been in business for over 30 years. Steam Power offers free estimates along with senior, military, and first responder discounts, and all services are guaranteed. They're located on Nation Way in Cheyenne. Welcome, Steam Power. I'd like to introduce Whitley Robertson with AAA. Since its early years of westward expansion, AAA has come to offer Wyoming members all of the benefits and perks that come with a AAA membership, including outstanding roadside assistance and reliable coverage, as well as access to its approved auto repair program, a collection of auto repair and maintenance centers that meet sky-high AAA standards. So whether you're in need of a repair, some roadside help, or simply want to take advantage of discounts on hotels and entertainment, AAA membership in Wyoming offers drivers best-in-class service from a brand you can trust. Welcome, AAA. I would also like to introduce Dr. David Foreman and Jenna Foreman of Wyoming TMS. David Foreman is a child, adolescent, and adult psychiatrist and the owner of Wyoming TMS. TMS is a widely used treatment to help those with difficult to treat depression, anxiety, and PTSD. He is currently accepting new patients for TMS treatment and medication management. Welcome, Wyoming TMS. I have Victoria Clausen of Butter Buns Bakery. That was a tongue twister for me. At Butter Buns, it's not just baking, they're crafting memorable experiences, one buttertastic bite at a time. From cotton candy flavored bread to Belgium chocolate stuffed buns, they aim to bake something unique every moment they get. Their signature creation is their soft, buttery buns inspired by the artistry of Asian baking. With Butter Buns, their goal is simple: to offer something fresh, different, and absolutely delightful to Cheyenne. They hope you love their creations as much as they love baking them for you. Welcome, Butter Buns Bakery. All right, next we have Forrest Tobin of Local Vantage. Local Vantage is Wyoming's only locally owned merchant services provider, dedicated to helping businesses save money while keeping dollars in our state. They go beyond payment processing with digital marketing solutions, digital coupons, and their coupon magazine designed to drive growth for local businesses. Their belief is simple: no one supports your locally owned business more than a locally owned business. At Local Vantage, they deliver the tools of national competitors while staying true to their community-first values. Welcome, Local Vantage. All right, we have got Courtney Schillen and Cassie Kelly with Drop and Dash. Drop and Dash, owned by Cheyenne native Courtney Schillen, is transforming the laundromat industry with a focus on family-friendly convenience and community service. Opening in April 2025 after a 14-month renovation of the former Plato's Closet location, the business features state-of-the-art equipment, comfortable workspaces, and a dedicated children's area. A UW graduate, Courtney identified the need for quality laundry services on Cheyenne's north side and has built local partnerships while providing resources to community organizations. With business growing tenfold since opening, Drop and Dash exemplifies how innovation can revitalize essential community services. Welcome, Drop and Dash. And now we have Crystal Pfeffer and Mary Beth Raper with Eden Health of Wyoming. Eden Health is committed to providing hands-on care and services while helping patients and their families through tough situations. They have been nominated for 3 years in a row for the best of the best in Cheyenne, and they have a 5-star rating on Google. They currently offer home health and home hospice services in the following counties: Laramie, Albany, Platte, Goshen, Converse, Natrona, Niobrara, and Carbon. Soon, both palliative and home care will also be available. Welcome, Eden Health of Wyoming.
Yeah, all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. That's all I do is win.
That's a good walk-up song too.
Always worry about whenever you have a 23-year-old doing walk-up music and what they might pick. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our September Chamber Luncheon. We are so pleased to have all of you here. Welcome all you new members to the Wyoming TMS. I heard my staff whispering to you. Their boss is really not as crazy as they told you. Everything will be okay. Well, as we move into the chill of fall and we're here at football season, but also everything gets busy, right? We start diving into some of the legislative issues. We have our Business to Business Expo coming up next month. Our Circle of Champions this time, we're going to have past Governor Dave Friedenthal as our honoree. So actually, many of you may not know that Dave was on the Cheyenne Chamber Board before he became the governor of the state of Wyoming. He actually left the board to make that run, all in that time frame. So make plans to be at all of those events. We have the Economic Forecast Breakfast. We have the Fed coming up for that to talk about interest rates. We have the economists from the U.S. Chamber to tell us about what our economy looks like nationally. And then we have an economist from the University of Wyoming to kind of drill that down. So we look forward to seeing you at all those events. There's a lot going on. So let me tell you about a few of the things that we've been working on. As you know, we've been working on some of the retail and organized crime across the state. I want to send a shout out to the Judicial Committee from the legislature for picking that issue up. There's actually 2 issues moving forward, and we are pleased that those have a good shot of getting to the legislature and making the trip this year. It's something that we need to get a hold of in Wyoming. And I think in a state like us, it's never a bad thing when we crack down on criminals and protect our small business people across this great state. On that end, we are fortunate to have Representative Steve Johnson, one of our legislators that looks out after us on business. Give him a round of applause. Thanks for being here today. We're lucky in Laramie County to have a good set of legislators that look out after business, that look out after keeping our taxes low, our regulations in check, but also understand that we have to build things like education and workforce and that kind. So Steve, good to see you here today. couple other recognitions I'd like to make. So even though he's been around a couple of times during the summer, we're now settling into fall, and I want to officially give a welcome to Colonel Terry Holmes, the new commander of Warren Air Force Base. So stand up and let them see your face. So Colonel Holmes is a great leader, and he's already diving in at Warren. And I will tell you that behind the scenes, about everything that could happen to a commander in the first little bit has happened to this guy. But he's handled it with grace, and we know that we're going to have a great run with you at the helm. So thank you for coming today and get to know our community. They will certainly try to get to know you so that we can help Warren Air Force Base succeed and your airmen and women succeed. I see you dragging along Chief Mosley, although you did not drag your husband today, but we are so pleased to have you, Chief. If you don't know Chief Mosley, you should get to know her. She is a cool person. Husband maybe this much cooler, but she is a great person to work with, taking care of the airmen and airwomen, the air people in our community at the base, the people that protect us, that put on the cloth of this country. So thank you, Chief. Thank you for holding those people up. And I know that everybody appreciates that greatly. So thank you. Couple other things we got coming up. So we will be going on our annual DC visit. We were the first fly-in in Wyoming to start that process. Now every state in the union, chambers across the nation fly into Washington to talk about business issues. We will be doing that at the end of this month, or in a couple of weeks actually. From the state chamber perspective, our group that we're working with chambers all across the state, we have an education and industry discussion. We have 21 communities across the state that we have scheduled where the superintendent of public instruction is sitting down with the industry to talk about some of the same issues we've been talking about today. So that's a great step as we look forward, because I can tell you that one of your biggest calls to the chamber is, I need workforce. I need talented workforce. The other thing that we receive is that we need workforce not to leave the state. That's a harder question, as I'm looking at Joe Schaefer, right? But the first key to all of this is making sure our children get educated, prepared, ready to do what they need to do. Before I leave here this afternoon, I just feel compelled to do this today. I want to tell you that you are the beneficiaries of one of the greatest chamber staffs on the entire planet. I've been at this a lot longer than I'd care to admit, but let's see, carry the 1, divide by 2, 25 years. And in my 25 years, I have never had a group of people that were smarter, that were more hardworking, that cared for this community more than I have right now. So I want to just take a minute to introduce all of them, and I'm even going to use a cheat sheet because I don't want to forget anybody. But our COO, Amber Leba, this gal works hard. All of this happens because of her. I'm an idiot. I can barely find my shoes in the morning. My wife's here. She can testify to that. But she keeps us all straight, keeps it organized, makes sure it's going to happen. Debbie Richardson, she's the most important lady in the whole office because she makes sure the bills get paid and that we get paid. So Debbie, thank you for all of your hard work. She keeps threatening to retire, but we keep pushing back. We have a couple of young folks in our office that I will tell you, if you don't believe there's great young people in this world, they exemplify this. So you will notice that nowadays that our luncheons are organized, this AV hits just perfect. You get newsletters twice a week. It is big topics. Caitlin Knapp does that. We just hired her out of college last year, and I'll put her up against any 40-year-old any of you can drag in front of me. Our other youngster, I shouldn't call them youngsters. They are certainly adults and well beyond their years. But Rose McIntyre, she is dealing with all of our committees. And if you ever try to deal with groups of people and have discussions, she's got a load, right? But she does that with a smile on her face, and we are so happy to have her. Thank you, Rose, for all your hard work. I don't know if you guys notice it, but our new membership list has been kind of long, and the Red Carpet Committee, they're going to get tired. We better find some people to help them. But last month, we turned in, outside of the membership drive, we turned in the best month for new members, at least in the 17 years that I've been here. And I tried to look back, and I couldn't find anything in the last 30 years. I think you guys clicked off 30 new members. Retention was up. Christine and Bethany, you guys stand up. They have done an exceptional job. And folks, let me tell you why their job gets to be hard, because people call our office about data centers, about cryptocurrency, about education, about transportation. Certainly with Warren Air Force Base here, what's going on the federal level with Sentinel program? What's happening at the National Guard? What's happening in the state legislature? What's happening at city council? These regs are killing me. What can you do about it? It's very difficult. It's one of the reasons that chamber employees across the nation, they are sucked up by others quickly, because you have to have a brain that thinks about 1,000 things. Most important thing for me is that these people wake up, face their community, know the problems we have, and say, I'm going to fight the war. That I am going to stand the gap for our people and our businesses and go to work doing that. So thank you, guys. I appreciate all the hard work you've been doing. It's not going to give you an excuse not to do it next month, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So a couple really cool things have just happened. I get a call every single day in the chamber is, well, I've heard about this Sentinel program. Where is it and what's it been doing? So I will give you a couple of things that are happening in Sentinel. One, the first missile site got turned over to Northrop Grumman. Colonel Holmes says that means I have one less I have to worry about. So it's good on him, but it's like 1/10 of 1% or something, right? And so that is a major step for Sentinel. The other thing is the airplane, they call it the Doomsday airplane. I don't think about it quite so violently, but the airplane that flies over the missile field, the Airborne Command Center, they test flew that last week in Dayton, Ohio. And all of this is heading us to a safer country based right here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. So we are moving forward. There are so many good things in our community, and I hope you guys appreciate that. All right, let's do free lunch drawing, like our local gambling. Free lunch drawing is Catherine Christ. So Catherine, if you will see our staff afterwards, we will get that for you. Three, 884406. Must be present to win. 3884406. Let me read that one more time. Some of you aren't paying attention. 3884406. Three 8848 639. Yay! Folks, we live on one of the greatest places on planet Earth, and we are extremely fortunate to wake up and see the mountains and the golden prairies every single day. But in order for us to keep the quality of life we have to come to expect, we got to keep working. And I think we all know that, and we have a tremendous chamber membership that grows every single day, and I appreciate that. But the work is never done, and I appreciate what you guys do for your community. Now I'd like to turn it back over to your chairman for the rest of the program. I could say your name.
Thank you, Dale. We do have an amazing chamber. I'd also like to comment the red carpet committee. I'm so glad that you guys wear red because I wear red too, but for Central football. So even if you don't cheer for Central, it's okay to cheer. Just kidding. All right, let me find where I'm at. All right. Okay. Today, we're excited to bring together two key leaders in our education community, Superintendent Dr. Stephen Newton from Laramie County School District Number 1 and Superintendent Justin Pierantoni from the Laramie County School District Number 2. These districts play a vital role in shaping the future workforce and preparing the next generation of leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs. This panel is all about building bridges between classrooms and boardrooms, students and employees, or employers, educators, and business leaders. When education and industry work together, we create stronger pathways for success, not just for students, but for our entire community. Moderating today's discussion is Steve Prescott, who will guide us through this important conversation about how we can better align our goals, share resources, and support one another in building a thriving Cheyenne. Please welcome Dr. Steve Newton and Justin to the stage.
That's a great walk-up song. All right. Well, this is very exciting. Thanks for the opportunity, Dale and Amber, for allowing me to be the hopefully moderator and not mediator between this. But I just got to give a call out to the good folks at Butter Buns. What a great logo you have. That is fantastic. I haven't seen one that good. That was wonderful. So we'll get started here. I have just a discussion of education and how that combines with jobs and growth in Cheyenne and our community. First, our topic is vision and strategy. So who wants to go first? Oh, Dr. Newton. Okay. So Dr. Newton, what is your long-term vision for education in Cheyenne, and how does it align with the region's economic development goals?
Well, whoa, wow. It's about as big and loud as that giant headshot of me that was up there. Well, first of all, thanks for letting us be here. I sure wish our paths could cross even more, but I certainly value our time that we can speak today. It's a great question. It's a complicated question. So a few things, the reasons why I believe it's a complicated question is we roughly probably have similar visions for this community, but we're each answering those in a very individual sort of way. Each industry, and maybe even each company within an industry is approaching and answering it each in their own way. So one of the challenges for us is how do we prepare a real wide variety of kids to function in a workforce, in a community, when it's not entirely clear exactly what that workforce is going to look like at several years down the road, and the needs may be slightly different depending upon the sector that we're talking about. So roughly speaking, I might answer the question this way. We try our level best to make sure that the finish line with us matches the starting line with you. And I'm very proud, with as much work as we know we have to get done, I'm very proud how we've proven how successful that's been. So think of whatever your measure of success might be. Is it that kids are able to enroll in Ivy League schools? We've done that repeatedly. Is it that kids get appointments to the military academies? We have dozens of kids in this community who are doing that. Is it perhaps that they are just well adjusted and ready to enter the workforce? We've done that. I have a 18-year-old who was doing 16-hour shifts as a CNA all summer long. So we've proven that we can transition kids even before they're out of high school into the workforce. So regardless of what your metric might be of what does that look like, I think we've proven we can do that. I think the challenge for us is how do we replicate that for more kids than just the examples that I've cited. I won't pretend that all kids are prepared to enter the military. I won't prepare that all kids are prepared to enter LCCC and be successful, or even your own place of business. But it's a great start when we've proven that by any metric, the highest levels of success are being enjoyed by students in this community.
Pierantoni?
I don't think I'm sitting on a mic, so I think we have to share one. So the question that I heard was, what's my long-term vision for education in Cheyenne? And my answer is, as long as we're better than that, then that's what we're going to do, and Laramie too. So a little bit of a joke there this morning. Yeah. So I always appreciate getting a chance to sit on the stage with Dr. Newton, because I think he has a great way of elaborating some statements. I'm going to take this one just a little bit different direction, though. My long-term vision for education in Laramie County is to get Wyoming kids back in Wyoming. And we have a declining enrollment across the state. We have a declining population of families, and we have a declining population of people that are leaving our state. So our goal is, even at the bare minimum, self-preservation. We have a teacher shortage. We've got to figure out a way to get staff back. And there is not a better staff member that I can find than a Wyoming kid. And so my long-term goal is to figure out how we get Wyoming kids back to Wyoming. And I think that benefits all of us. But that's my perspective on it.
Thank you. As a follow-up to that, if either of you'd like to mention it, would be how are your districts adapting to the changing needs of students and the workforce?
Yeah, the best we can, right? It's a moving target, and it's one really poorly lit, I would say. I think, and the reason I say it that way, I've had the pleasure of meeting with some industry sectors in my role, listening. Believe it or not, I sometimes listen, don't just talk. Justin finds that hard to believe. And I've seen the workforce conversation with our trades group shift significantly in just the last couple of years, maybe even significantly in the last several months. What it is they believe they need, what it is that is challenging, where are the choke points in all of this. And so I think we have that challenge of how do we start preparing a 7th grader for your industry, knowing they're going to be with us another 5 years before they hit, and what preparation did we engage in that maybe has shifted out from underneath us? And I think it's easy to go real global and just say, well, just make sure they're good, honest, hardworking human beings. Well, of course, that's a start. I wish everyone in our community were. Wish many of the adults in our community were. So that's certainly, a goal. But as far as truly preparing for the needs of a workforce, if I may, I'd like to share one story. Several years ago, we were told that oil workers across this state were going to be retrained in computer coding. And we changed our entire course sequence of curriculum. 7 through 12, we had multiple pathways to prepare kids for that future where they were going to get snatched up in coding jobs before they even left us. I haven't heard anyone use the word coding in my presence in 2 years. And so I don't tell that story to say you tricked us, anybody tricked us. It's just that it's a moving target and it's one that's very poorly lit. So we have to try our best to keep track of not only one sector, but all of the sectors and figure out how we can make sure that kids, that we're responding to the needs of our kids and the workforce. I will tell you this, and maybe I'm trying to answer all questions in one answer, lest anyone suggest that the problem is that we don't value the career and technical and, you know, all of the non-science, math, English, social studies kinds of courses. I'm here to tell you that that's a story that's just no longer true. I looked before I walked in the doors. In our district here in Laramie 1, we have 72 distinct course offerings, ranging from accounting for our financial sector to different trades, to business, to culinary arts, to everything, computer coding, construction, welding, all of those things. 72 distinct courses. I don't think that's evidence that we don't value or invest in career and technical education. So I think the trick is, how do we dial that in? And I don't pretend that we have the answers. I think you probably do. So maybe part of that answer is we need to get in rooms together more often.
Okay, well, let's move on to another topic here, which is workforce development and career readiness. Mr. Pierantoni, what skills are you prioritizing to ensure students are ready for the modern workforce?
It's a great question. Of course, all the questions are going to be great, right? You're reading them, so they're going to be great questions.
And I came up with all of them.
They're all, yeah, they're dynamite. If only we would have had them beforehand, right? So my 10-second history, born and raised in Wyoming, graduate of Rock Springs High School, UW. I've been a lifelong educator in the state of Wyoming, and I'm a believer in what we offer. I'm a believer in public education. And I do believe one of the strengths of a public education system is the opportunity for kids to work with other kids and the opportunity for students and staff to work together in a big group. And I think any business would come to us and say, you know, and I'm going to consider education a business as well for this conversation. When we look at teachers, or when you're looking for people to hire, I think you would love a content level of things, but there are basic skills that you probably would assume would be natural. And post-COVID, they're not as natural. Thanks to devices and electronics, some skills just aren't natural anymore. So we spend a lot of time in group and team and in-person things to figure out how kids can learn how to collaborate with one another, get along with one another. And probably the most important one right now is, how do you dissent? How do you disagree with somebody that doesn't require a delete of a post? You know what I mean? So how do we figure out a way to help kids say, I believe this, but I'm not going to tell you how much I hate you to do that? How do we have civil conversations and work through those things? And I believe that those skills right there, while you may assume are natural, they're not. We are working on ways to help our students work through maybe skills that, as we reflect on our own childhood, would have been a little easier. They're not there. And so, and that doesn't mean that's global for everybody, but when you have a class of 25, you have a class of 25. and you work with all 25. You don't decide which ones you do and don't work with. And the best part about public education, I tell my staff all the time, is the door says open all the time. We're open for business. We don't select. And so that makes us stronger. But at the same time, we are finding that our scaffolding up to basic skills or scaffolding up to skills takes a little bit more work than it did in the past. And at the same time, I feel like the expectation above us is also growing in a different direction as well. So and the hardest part for me, I'll share this with you, is I like to give State of the Unions. I'll talk as much as Steve will about anything. I like to give State of the Unions, but I never want you to think that when I tell you about the reality of things that I'm complaining, because I'm definitely not complaining. I'm proud of what we have and what we do. But I also think that one of the benefits of this type of conversation is that you get to hear a reality. There are things you put on a brochure, and then there's things that we should also talk about and know that's happening.
Thank you. Dr. Newton, in regard to workforce development, are there current partnerships with local industries that are working well, and how can those be scaled?
Yeah, we've made in the last couple of years very much a new commitment in Laramie 1. I think some of you may have experienced this in the past. There was a sense that our doors were closed. I'm here to tell you the doors are wide open. Some folks are now taking us up on that offer, and we are hosting more business partners than ever before in our schools. Kids need to know you, and they need to meet you if they're ever going to come work for you. One of the things that might sound rather insulting is, and I don't mean it to be this way because I think it's true for all of us in our own way, the workforce you need does not know you exist. Why would they? Unless they called a roofing company because their parents had hail damage, they probably know no roofing companies in town. When you're 18 years old, why would you know the name of roofing companies? And they don't. And they don't know where you're located, and they're not going to wander into your place. I had a conversation once that I think is kind of symbolizes the challenge, the disconnect generationally. I asked a group, I said, last night I asked my daughter to find a job in your world. Like, if you were looking for a job, you go where you would go to find it, and then show me the results. And the sector that I was talking to, I think it was the 66th hit was the first job for that sector. 65 competitors. I'm not sure she was going to scroll to 66 to find your job. I was sharing that with a group, and I said, how would they know that you're hiring? How would they know that you want them? And a fella said, well, we sometimes advertise in our trade journals. And I tried to politely say, 18-year-olds are not reading your trade journals. And so how do they know you exist? I'm telling you, the door's open. Financial sector, if you want to come into our accounting classes, please do. We need your expertise. And my guess is you might be able to set us straight on a few things. Perhaps we're teaching our kids to weld in a way that industry says, I really wish you wouldn't. That's not quite right. How would we know? How would we know? Because our teachers are busy teaching all day long. They're not in industry anymore, if they ever were. And so until the kids come to you, we would warmly invite you to come to us. I would also love it if your doors were open to them. And what do partnerships look like? What do apprenticeships look like? What do job shadowing look like? And if I were to put you on the spot and say, can a couple of 7 or even just one 17-year-old shadow your people around the rest of the week all day long? And if you go, which you might, what could that even look like? Boy, they'd be around a whole lot of cash laying around. Oh, I don't even know what that looks like. Well, they're not going to get to know you. So I would say we're doing better than ever before in those partnerships. I've got to give a shout out to my dear friend who works for us back there, Adam Kaiser. Adam, I'm going to make you stand up, Adam. Can you stand up? Yeah. If you have a concern about a pipeline into your workforce and you have not yet met Adam, that's your homework. He is the best place to start. He has hooked up companies with great kids, workers. He has kids pipelined into our different sectors of our workforce like never before. So if you've not yet met Adam, he's a great guy. He's quite the gentleman, and he's really, really good at what he does.
Thanks. You gave some great ideas there. Mr. Pierantoni, do you have any other ways that we can create more internships, mentorships, or job shadowing opportunities for students or ideas?
Again, moving off of what Dr. Newton talked about, I think coming in the door and throwing out an idea is not dismissed. We definitely want to meet more people. We had this very unique situation with High West Energy happen about 2 to 3 years ago, where someone just asked the question, and the next thing you know, we've got 3 interns. And those students didn't even know that High West offered those types of positions. And I think that's just the reality. What Mr. Newton says is exactly right. Our students just do not know. And it's for no lack of other reason other than they are in their world, you're in your world, we're in our world, and we just move through our worlds. So I think being willing to come in and ask the question is fantastic. I will also tell you, I see a small contingent of our LCCC crew here today. So Dr. Schaefer and crew, what they do at LCCC to offer different pathways is a starting point for a lot of us. So if you're not developing a relationship with what they're doing at LCCC, you might be missing a boat there as well, because they become a central point for us to talk to. Our biggest disadvantage in far southeastern Laramie County is our distance from Cheyenne, which is hard which it might be hard for a lot of you to fathom with Cheyenne roots. However, we have 60 to 70 kids right now that are attending our schools that are from Cheyenne, and they make that travel every day. So we're not that far away, and we want to be closer as best we can. So there are people in this room that have already started those conversations, and they might provide you with a pathway or a starting point on how you can go further with that.
Okay, thanks. You guys are blowing right through all my questions, just so you know, and I'm not getting to ask them, so we're gonna have to keep you reined in. No, yeah, I think this is more into innovation. Specifically, what innovative programs or technologies are you implementing to improve student outcomes?
I think my best answer for that is with some of the partnerships that we're starting to forge, and we have some very valued partners who are providing some resources, supplies, materials that our kids just may not have the same experiences without the benefit. I think we're, when you say innovative programs, that sounds like, it could sound like fancy bells and whistles things to get kids in the doors. And I'm more interested in innovative, clever ideas to introduce people to each other. And maybe that's with a fancy new piece of technology, but I think more than that is some of the creativity that we're seeing in ways that our business partners are coming to know and work with our kids and with our teachers. I think that's what I'm most proud of right now, because the fancy piece of equipment in a little while will no longer be fancy. And but relationships, once created, can endure. And I know we have kids that met business partners when they were 17-year-old, went, got further training, and came back to the ones that showed interest in who they were. You might experience this, maybe not. I've seen it where kids say, I'm not leaving this job if I can make $2 more an hour there because I like the people here. So I think some of our innovative approaches are how do you all form relationships with 18-year-olds who aren't friends of your children? That's the trick. And one of the things that I call it the Thanksgiving, the grandma phenomenon at Thanksgiving. Our kids are getting ready to sit down to Thanksgiving dinner here in a couple of months, and grandma's going to say, what are you going to do next year? And kids have to have an answer. So you know what a lot of kids do? They invoke the path that is well lit. Well, I'm going to enroll in college. Even if they don't want to, even if their heart is elsewhere, by default, it gets grandma off your back when you say that. And what does it look like to do that handoff with others? Better with the military and with community college and with university, but with the business world as well. Think about what I think we've historically done very well in pipelining kids is think about the brightest kids academically. Their senior year of high school especially, their senior year of high school, they no longer take high school courses. They're taking college courses. But here's the part we miss. They're still in that gentle nursery of support with high school teachers who are supporting them, care about them, and help them pick up pieces. It's a great handoff. If your senior year of high school is spent doing college material, but still with high school kinds of support, what might that senior handoff look like in your world? Because I'm here to tell you, if you don't meet them till after graduation, I'm not convinced that in large numbers you ever will.
Do you have anything additional to follow up with that, Mr. Pierantoni?
How could I?
Yeah.
Right? I'm just
All right. Well, this is kind of off script. I mean, I always end up doing this. I'm sorry. But just in my line of work, which is real estate and business, we have a really difficult time finding people in trades. And so I'm just kind of curious what you're seeing in the numbers as far as shop classes and those sort of trades. Are they increasing? Are they decreasing? I hope they increase. And I, talk to our kids all the time that, being an electrician isn't bad. In fact, they make some killer money and have a great lifestyle. So are you seeing some of those numbers increasing or decreasing?
Absolutely. I think as I look at the landscape of Laramie 2 in the last 5 years that I've been there, I see us not only having students interested, but encouraged to look at different pieces. And we actually go through different processes with students to have them do multiple classes in the same field so that they get that opportunity. And if your core belief is that you want students to come back to your community, then you figure out ways for them to see what's in your community and you work through those pieces. I don't necessarily know of a real estate CTE course or two, but I mean, I'm game for something.
No, we're like third, fourth careers. That's what we do in real estate. But number wise, any idea on that, Dr.?
Well, thanks to Adam, I do have a number here. This may shock you. We turn away at East High 30% of all the kids that want to take welding. You know why? Because you can only teach welding 8 hours a day. We have more interest than space and resources available. There may have been a time that's like, how do we get the interest level up? That's not the problem anymore. And one of the things that I would politely urge to anyone who runs select cohorts of people through, there's a healthcare probably piece in this that I'm thinking about, and there's probably other examples I could cite. If you have a group that you're willing to take 25 and you've capped that, I think we've just identified the bottleneck in the workforce supply if there were 40 who wanted to do it. Now, I'll acknowledge that the 40th kid in line may not quite be the person for that job, maybe. But the 26th kid in line, does the 26th kid who gets turned away because you only took 25 in your pool, does the 26th kid really look very different than the 25th kid? And are we creating choke points unnecessarily and artificially by saying, well, I could take two? I heard one that just anybody in the construction trades that just horrified me. It sounds like there's a 1-to-1 journeyman to apprentice ratio that must be kept. If we send you 30 kids and you don't have enough journeymen to be at the 1-to-1, I guess you're turning what, 28 of them away? And so I think we have some pipeline, we're getting necked down in some of these places that we're hurting ourselves. How do we open up more opportunities for more kids? If medical school, if we say we have a shortage of doctors, but medical schools are choking down great candidates because we say we're only going to take this many, and it's not based upon a criterion of skill set, it's based on we'll just take the best 20, we might really be not needing to look much further for where the real source of the problem is. So if East High has no more welding booths all day long every day, where might they do welding? So we're either going to keep turning away kids who have high interest in the trades, or we're going to need help and partnership for those who say, he can come shadow with us, come apprentice with us. We'll teach him how to weld. We'll give him credit. You'll get a job, potential worker. Everybody wins. So I think as we reimagine more of those things. So again, I think some of our stories need to be retired. We do not need to convince kids to take welding. We need more welding booths. But of course, it's not as if you can just move a welding booth into the commons. I don't think the answer to more welding booths is an East High problem anymore. We've hit capacity based on the increasing demand.
Great, thank you. I want to respect everyone's time here. It's just at 1 o'clock. I just have one really important question, and this is, I'm going to start with you, Mr. Pierantoni. Great Italian last name. And I noticed that it's National Cheese Pizza Day, and both school districts are serving cheese pizza. So does school district number 2 have better cheese pizza than school district number 1?
I think the reality is I'd like you to come try them. Yeah, you come try them. We'll have a little taste test, and you tell me, you tell me which one's what.
All right, that's fair. Well, I think that's all the time we have. It's really been a great discussion. Thank you guys for joining us, and the Chamber appreciates it. Thank you, and everyone have a great weekend.
That's great.
Yeah, no, you're good. Hey guys, thank you so much for. I'm on. Should I know? Do I just give up? Thanks. No, I was just gonna say thanks. Oh, wait.